Hi, everybody.
Oh, man.
That's right, it's cold. Real cold. So, today, or I said today in this video, we're working on a little bit of the right tank. So, um, long story, I screwed up the fuel sender bar. So when you get these fuel senders, and these are just thick film fuel senders that are commonly used in vehicles, um, comes with a float, and the float attaches to a nice steel bar. Basically, looks like just a straightened out, you know, clothes hanger. That radius of bar. Anyway, you're supposed to bend it very specifically so that it fits inside the tank, and as it goes back and forth across, um, it doesn't touch either side. Now, there's a very specific direction you're supposed to bend it, and I did it improperly, which was my own fault. So, because of that, I had to get another fuel sender. Actually, I would have had to have wound up getting another fuel sender anyway. The one that came with the kit, the arm for the fuel float was actually broken. Not broken, but it was bent. It was bent out of the box. So when you did attach the rod to it, um, the float would actually sink. Here I am bending the float now. I'm bending the rod now. When you would actually do it, it would actually sink, and it would come into contact with the vent line and the stringer. So it wasn't very good. So I had to replace it anyway. So standard installation. You do the bend. You test it to make sure that it doesn't touch either side, and then you seal on the plate with a little bit of handy dandy tank sealant. Now, when I test fit this thing, it was perfect. So you don't want the rod. The way that this works is it works with a resistance rheostat, basically. So as it moves up and down, it changes its resistance. And you can read that out with a fluke meter, very simply. The problem is, if it touches either one of the tank's skins, then the connection becomes complete and there is no resistance. You just get a resistance of naught. Naught. It's just goes straight through. So you don't want it to touch. Now in the left tank, I did it right. It doesn't touch and everything is good. And that's top or bottom. In this tank, here's the thing. So I went ahead and I tested it and made sure it fit and everything was fine. The moment I go and I seal it on, all of a sudden it starts to touch, which was very, very weird. No idea why the hell that was happening. I mean, it's because we're talking about 1/8 of an inch, and uh, literally I don't know why that was happening. Anyway, so I found a way to cure that. Um, the cure for that is I took a small dollop of that tank sealant, and I'm mixing that up now to put the sender on, which I'm going to. There you go. Focus that in. I put a little bit of dab of the tank sealant on the walls of the tank itself, exactly where the fuel sender goes to touch. So now the fuel sender can never technically make contact with the top or the bottom. Now, if for some reason this doesn't allow for full motion of the resistance rheostat to move back and forth, I'll just have to calibrate that on my EFIS, because I think it goes from like 0.15 to 0.8. So if you don't technically get from 0.15 to 0.8, if you're somewhere in between, then you've got to just recalibrate that through your EFIS, I'm sure. And there I am testing it. Anywho, now it's going to dry for a few days, and then I will give it the thorough test. So, anyway, I will see you soon. Bye.